I'm so sorry about that, you guys.
Now I finally see what's a Zoom bombing.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. I didn't even, what was that?
So do we know the person, right? So we don't let the person in.
I don't know if they're gonna be changing their names, but I'm just looking. I'm admitting people that I'm familiar with their names from the sign-in sheet.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm going through it one by one instead of admitting everyone at one time.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, but maybe let the board person come in.
I'm sorry, say that again.
The board person, like Dr. Farag and Nancy.
Yes, there's like 60, 70 people pending. So let me admit them one by one.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yes. Thank you.
Here's Dr. Farag. I wonder if we can track that person.
I don't know if he was on your record. If it was recording before,
yeah,
you might be able to.
Yeah, I recorded right upon entry.
And Donia, please limit the ability of anybody to share screen.
It's supposedly limited, but I don't know what happened. Like, I'm the only one who can share screen on my setting. So let me see. Okay.
I think this is the hassle one. So the person probably has some kind of programming capability.
Yes.
To do the Zoom bombing, not to change our setting.
Okay, I'm just Googling right now how I can not like let anybody change the settings. So let's hope.
Well, let in our board members.
Yes, I'm trying to admit everyone one by one so we avoid that again not happening.
Yeah, he was originally under just the name John.
Yeah, I saw that.
Amazing.
It's recorded, so I'll try to see if IT can help us with it.
Okay. Because that needs to be reported.
Yes.
He was changing names. I think I saw Kristen and then kept changing. The pictures show like his background was like a lady with like headphones.
Yeah. Big glasses.
We'll take care of it after. Sorry about that, everyone.
It would be great if everybody could turn on their cameras so we can see them. Thank you, everybody.
My camera doesn't work on the computer I'm using, but Donia can testify that she knows me.
That's okay.
No, you're good. Okay. I'm only accepting people that I've seen their names before. So instead of admitting everyone at one time now.
Do you hear me or not? Because for some reason.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. I have to log out and come back again because it's.
Is it letting you open your video or you're having problems with that?
No, it's not responding. I don't know what happened.
And Joe, this is Anthony Pugliese. Julian Frazier from Cal CPA is waiting to come in.
Right.
Okay, I'm sorry for this question, but there's about 140 people in this meeting right now. Are the people from the California Board of Accountancy here?
Yes, everybody was here. So Suzanne's here. I don't see Nancy Corrigan. I don't see David Hemphill.
I don't see them either.
I don't see.
I'm just working on 2 more staff trying to log in.
Okay, I'm back, Kristen.
Oh, there you are. Yeah. Welcome to the very first Zoom bomb I've experienced in the last 7 months, and what a way to go.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Sorry about that, folks. For those of you who are coming on board, if you could put on your cameras so we can see your faces, that would be great. If you're having a bad hair day, it's okay. So am I.
Can you try to let in Delia Tomas from CBA?
I know there's no one right now.
David, do you have more than one person in your office using the Zoom?
Okay, well, I'll go ahead and start off.
Do you see Nancy?
No, not yet.
Yes, she's here.
Oh, I'll keep admitting people as they come in.
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you.
Okay, it's weird I didn't see you.
Okay, perfect. Then we're so sorry about what happened earlier, everyone. We'll make sure to take care of this as soon as the event is over. But I'm going to go ahead and thank everybody for being here. This is probably one of the biggest attendance we've had for a virtual event. So thank you everyone for being here. And I'll go ahead and hand it to Dr. Farag, our accounting department chair for the College of Business at Cal Poly Pomona. And he'll go ahead and talk a little bit about the event and, you know, take it from here, Dr. Farag.
All right, thank you, Donia. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Magdi Farag. I'm the accounting department chair here at Cal Poly Pomona. And as some of you may know, my main area of teaching is auditing. In my auditing classes, I always stress on the importance of getting the CPA license. I always tell my students that your CPA license is a confirmation on your resume that increases your credibility as a professional accountant. It opens a huge number of opportunities in the accounting profession. The audit profession, for example, you cannot work as an auditor unless you're a licensed CPA. It's one of those protected professions, and this is why I find that there's a huge benefit in becoming a licensed CPA. I think we're privileged today to have the California Board of Accountancy joining us via Zoom and to speak with our students. And again, I'm sorry for what just happened, but again, this is the problem with technology. This is a great opportunity for our students, and I hope we can maintain this visit in future years. So on behalf of the College of Business and the accounting department's faculty and students, I would like to thank the board for their interest and for their time to speak with our students today. I would also like to introduce Ms. Nancy Corrigan. Ms. Nancy Corrigan is the president of the California Board of Accountancy. I would like to mention that she's one of the accounting department alumni. She's also a very dedicated member of our department advisory council. We're very honored and pleased to have her today. Thank you for joining us, and Ms. Corrigan, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be here, and understandably, these things are going to happen. Sometimes they're out of our control. Certainly, we have a big interest in what Dr. Farag just mentioned. So thank you for that very generous introduction. And I am an alum, I am on the council, and I have a special fondness, obviously, for Cal Poly Pomona, and that is why I give back the way that I do. So I am a certified public accountant, and I currently serve as president of the California Board of Accountancy, also often referred to as the CBA, much like your own School of Business. So that's even in that council, we have that confusion of who is the CBA that we're referring to. So I'm excited that we have staff today, not only to present immediately after me about what it's, your education and what it takes to take the examination, but later on we have several staff available for one-on-one sessions where students can find out what they should be doing to complete their degree in order to take the exam. The certified public accountancy profession has a long and important history, and you may be concerned, wondering, oh my goodness, what's the future for me? Is there really a future? Is it being limited and restricted by all the changes, by COVID-19, et cetera? And I want to assure you that the need for our services as CPAs, I think, is greater than ever before. And there are many benefits, as Dr. Farag just mentioned, some of them, but the prestige and respect among, from the public, many organizations, and also fellow CPAs. It's career development where you practice by a structured set of evolving professional standards. And being a CPA, you can be a generalist, you can be a specialist, and the panel will discuss that a little bit more later. There's career security, a wealth of opportunities. There's job satisfaction, the satisfaction of helping and serving people, applying your knowledge as a CPA. There are also financial benefits. You can do very well in the field. So I want to thank you for allowing me to be here, and I look forward to talking to you a little bit later on the panel discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Corrigan. So Donia.
So yeah, thank you everybody for such a great introduction. And as a club president, I would like to say that this is one of probably the most important events that we have at Cal Poly. I have benefited from this in the past, and it's such a great thing to just be very prepared going into a public accounting career myself. It's very tricky to just go in and try to get the right resources and all that great stuff. So having the counselors meet with us one-on-one, it's just such a great pleasure. It saves us a lot of hassle and time, and hopefully with this presentation and the very uncertainty happening right now with the COVID situation, we'll get more clarity on how it's going to be running from now on. So with that being said, I'll just open it up for our presentation with Ms. Suzanne Garcia. So please take the floor.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Suzanne Gracia, the manager of the examination unit with the CBA. I would also like to introduce some of the staff that are here with me today. So if you can just unmute your volume and then just say hello so that they can see your faces. I have Jennifer Jackson here with me. She's the examination unit coordinator. Hello. Jennifer Huddy is the initial licensing unit coordinator.
Hello.
Amy Hong is an enforcement analyst, but she has previously been in the initial licensing unit as a coordinator, so she's still, considered a great asset to us.
Hello.
And I have Delia Tomas, who is an examination unit analyst. Okay. So they will all be available after the presentation for one-on-one consultations. We participated in an outreach event last year at Cal Poly Pomona, and we are excited to be invited back to talk to you about the pathway to CPA licensure. So first, let me tell you a little bit about the CPA exam, which is your first step towards CPA license. If you can go to the next slide, please. Thank you. It's a national computer-based exam that will test your skills and competencies necessary for entry into the practice of public accountancy. There are 4 sections, and each section is 4 hours long. Auditing and attestation, business environment and concepts, financial accounting and reporting, and regulation. So how do you qualify to sit for the CPA exam? Next slide, please. Thank you. Many of you are working towards completing your bachelor's degree, and if so, you are already taking a major step in the right direction. Before you can take the CPA exam, you must earn a bachelor's degree or higher and complete 24 semester units in accounting and 24 semester units in business-related courses, which we refer to as the 24 and 24. If you have met these 3 requirements, you are ready to apply. As soon as you graduated and completed the required classes, you should request for your official transcripts to be sent to us, or you may send your transcripts directly if they are sealed in an envelope provided by the college. I would like to mention that the CBA is currently piloting a means to accept official transcripts electronically through an online secure portal. The CBA anticipates implementing the new process before the end of the year. Make sure that your degree has been conferred on the transcript. This is the most common issue we find when reviewing applications. And education completed outside of the United States must be evaluated by a CBA-approved credential evaluation service, and you can find the list of evaluation service providers on our website. So after requesting your transcripts or foreign credential evaluations, you should next create an online account. Next slide, please. This client account will allow you to create application remittance forms, check the status of your exam application, and view your scores. I do want to point out that even though you can create an online client account, the application remittance form will still need to be printed, signed, and mailed to us with the application processing fee, as these forms are not submitted electronically. Once you have completed these two steps, your job applying for the CPA exam is done, and it is then up to us to help you get approved. When we receive your required documents, we review your file to determine if you meet the requirements. Again, that you've earned a bachelor's degree or higher and completed the 24 and 24. If you do, you will receive an email notification with instructions on the next step. If you don't meet the requirements just yet, we will let you know what is missing. Next slide, please. Once approved, you may begin selecting your exam sections. As of July 1st, 2020, testing windows were replaced by continuous testing, allowing candidates to take the CPA exam year-round. The order you take each section is completely up to you, but take into consideration your work schedule, study time, and personal commitments. Once you have selected your sections, we will send an authorization to test, or ATT, to NASBA, and they will issue you a payment coupon. You will have 90 days to submit your payment to NASBA. It's very important to know that once you have paid for the sections, we cannot remove or add sections. So if you need to make any changes, you must request them before you submit payment and prior to the expiration date of your payment coupon. Once NASBA receives your payment, they will issue you a notice of schedule, which is commonly referred to as an NTS, that will be valid for 9 months. You must then schedule and sit for your selected sections within this 9-month period. And please make sure your NTS matches the spelling of your name on the valid identification cards that you plan to bring with you to the testing center. We don't want you to be denied entrance. If your information is not shown correctly, please let us know right away and we will help you get it fixed. So Donia, if you can go to slide 6. There we go. Thank you.
Yeah.
To assist you in preparing for the CPA exam, the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, or AICPA, provides the CPA exam blueprints to learn about the specific topics tested in each section. You can also find sample tests and tutorial topics that will help you prepare for the CPA exam. Next slide, please. When you are ready to schedule your exams, you can do that by using Prometric's online scheduling tool, or you can contact them by telephone. The CBA allows you to test at any Prometric testing centers in the United States, District of Columbia, Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, and Guam. And Prometric testing centers are normally open 6 days a week. Additionally, the CBA participates in the NASBA AICPA I-exam process, which allows candidates to test in specified international Prometric testing centers. Information regarding I-exam is available on NASBA's website at www.nasba.org. And just a couple of tips for the day of your scheduled exam. I suggest you arrive about 30 to 45 minutes prior to your appointment to allow time to locate the testing center, find parking, and complete the check-in process. And do not forget to bring your paper NTS and identification, because without these, you will not be able to test and you will lose all exam-related fees. Next slide, please. NASBA releases scores to the CBA, and then we import them into your online client account. You can view the target score release timeline from the AICPA website. For security reasons, scores cannot be released by email or telephone. You must pass each section with a score of 75 or higher within an 18-month period. The date that you pass your first section will start the clock on this 18-month period. If one of your exam credits expires prior to passing all 4 parts, you will need to retake that section. And when you have passed the CPA exam, we'll send you a congratulatory letter with information on the next steps to obtain your California CPA license. And when you are ready to apply for your California CPA license, there are some additional requirements you will need to meet. Next slide, please. So when you qualify to sit for the CPA exam, you likely already met most, if not all, of the educational requirements to obtain your license. The additional education we will be looking for is 20 semester units of accounting study, 10 semester units of ethics study, 3 semester units of which must be in a course in accounting ethics or accountant's professional responsibilities, and then a minimum of 150 total semester units. Next slide, please. You will also need to complete a minimum of 1 year in general accounting experience under the supervision of an actively licensed CPA. When accepting job offers, it is best to inform your employer of your intent to pursue a CPA license to ensure they are eligible to sign off on your experience. It's a good idea to have your experience form signed and submitted to the CBA as you earn it, regardless of whether you're ready to apply or not. Applicants and supervisors may change jobs or relocate, and it's sometimes difficult to locate your signer at a different date. Completion of the general accounting experience requirement will allow you to perform all of the services of a CPA, with the exception of signing reports on attest engagements, which includes planning audits, preparing work papers, and preparing full disclosure financial statements. If you want to sign reports on attest engagements, you will also need to complete a minimum of 500 hours in attest functions under the supervision of a licensed CPA who is authorized to sign reports on attest engagements. Next slide, please. And finally, to complete your license application, you must complete and pass the California Specific Professional Ethics Exam, or PETH, and complete a criminal background history check. When submitting your application, be sure to include an email address so that we can notify you sooner if there's anything needed to complete your file. Once the CBA has received your application and fee, you will receive an acknowledgement email, including the authorization and instructions on obtaining fingerprints. Live scan forms and fingerprint cards will be provided to you by the CBA. CBA staff will review your application and notify you of the outcome. If an application is approved for licensure, the CBA will provide you with an approval notification and instructions to submit your initial license fee. If an application is not approved for licensure, you will be sent a letter advising what is outstanding. Next slide, please. So I believe you all have been provided with additional tools that will help you during the application process for either the CPA exam or the CPA license. These tools are available on the CPA website. We have a self-assessment worksheet that will help you track your classes and plan for any future education you may need. There is also an education tip sheet that breaks down the requirements and will help you determine where a particular course may qualify. Next slide, please. There's a wealth of information available on our website that explains the requirements to qualify and that will assist you in preparing for and taking the CPA exam, as well as navigating the initial licensing process. In our applicant section, you will find the online application and links to various forms and the Uniform CPA Examination Handbook and Licensing Applicant Handbook. Additionally, the CBA maintains a series of frequently asked questions that will assist you in understanding the requirements to qualify for licensure. Next slide, please. And if at any time during your application process, the CBA could be of any assistance, we have dedicated staff to assist you every step of the way. We understand the time and commitment you make when you are pursuing your CPA license, and we want to make the process as seamless as possible for you. I encourage you to connect with us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, and sign up for email updates. This will help you stay informed on the developments at the CBA. So thank you for this opportunity to present to you today. My staff and I are happy to answer any questions you may have.
Are there any questions that anyone would like to ask the CBA staff or team?
I believe someone asked in the chat, is the CPA license permanent?
So there are, there's a renewal and continuing competency for the license. So once you earn your license license expires every 2 years. And then if you want to maintain an active CPA license, you will have to do 80 hours of CE prior to your expiration date. Otherwise, you can renew as an inactive CPA and not have to do the 80 hours of CE.
All right, I'll go ahead and read the questions in the chat just to make it easier for you.
Okay.
Another question is, can I work or on my experience 1 year requirement first before sitting for the exam?
I'm gonna let my experience expert answer that question, Jennifer Huddy.
Hi there. Yes, you can complete the experience requirement before you sit for the exam, while you're sitting for the exam, after you sit for the exam, as long as you're under the supervision of an actively licensed CPA for the whole year.
Perfect, thank you. Will quarter credit count as substitute for semester credit? So as Cal Poly, we were on quarters and then we switched to semesters. How is that gonna work for us?
So quarter credits get converted to semester. So we will multiply the quarter units by 2/3 to get the equivalence of semester.
Okay, are you able to transfer from state to state, or do you take the CPA in the state you're going to reside in?
It really depends on where you decide to get your CPA license. You definitely want to check with each state as their requirements may differ slightly. But if you pass the exam as a California candidate, you can pursue license in another state if you choose, and vice versa. If you pass the exam in another state, you can choose to get licensed in California. But again, it really depends on what state you want to pursue your license. I would definitely reach out to or check out the websites for those states, or reach out to somebody in those states to determine what their requirements are.
Okay, next question would be, what requirements will a master's degree fulfill?
So if you have a master's degree, that definitely meets the bachelor's degree or higher for the CPA exam and the CPA license. Now, if you have a specific master's degree in accounting, and I may forget one of them here, a Master of Accounting, Taxation, Laws and Taxation, that will exempt you from the 20 units of accounting study needed at the time of CPA licensure.
Thank you. Next question is, does experience from internship count toward experience requirements?
And Ms. Huddy, I will.
Yes, as long as you're supervised by an actively licensed CPA, internships qualify. Also, experience that's completed on a volunteer basis is fine, as long as you have an active CPA supervising you.
Great. And then are US-based CPAs able to work overseas, or is that a different certification?
That one to you.
That's something that you would need to look into in this specific jurisdiction. There may be some countries that accept a California CPA designation reciprocally, but that's going to be country to country. So you'll have to inquire specifically where you're looking to practice.
Perfect. Is a Cal CPA license not transferable in another state?
Transferable. So again, you would have to check with the other state what their requirements are. You know, California doesn't recognize reciprocity. So for example, if you were coming from another state into California and wanted to get licensed in California, you wouldn't be able to transfer your license from that state to California. But we also do have what's called practice privilege. So depending on the type of work that you would be performing in California, you may be eligible for practice privilege with your out-of-state license. There's definitely more information on our website regarding practice privilege if you want to look into that.
Thank you. If you already fulfilled the 150 units, do you recommend still doing a master's program?
It's really, you know, it's really up to the student. You know, I can't really advise going for, you know, an additional degree if they don't necessarily need it. I think really that's a personal choice on the student. So.
Thank you. And then somebody asked, if we're done passing all 4 sections, do those scores ever expire, or will we just get a letter that we passed, but we are not fully licensed yet?
Yes, so once they pass all 4 parts of the CPA exam and they receive the letter, their scores do not expire. And so there's no time limit on when someone would have to apply for a CPA license.
Aiden have asked, last year we received an educational requirement for CPA licensure. That was tailored specifically for Cal Poly Pomona. Is that form still relevant, or will we be receiving an updated copy?
If you were at the event last year, it is still relevant. But you know, since we had to move this to a virtual platform this year, we weren't able to provide the same materials that we did in the past. So if you do have a copy of that from last year, there has been no changes, so it is still relevant to you know, our requirements today.
All right. Is this
Danielle, allow me to interrupt. We're running short on time and we want to get to the panel. So save your questions. We are recording this and we will make sure that those questions get answered and we will send them out to you.
Okay.
Danielle, you want to introduce the panel, please?
Yes, please. So I'll go ahead and start with the panel questions. So the first question is, from your experience, what is the biggest benefit of becoming a CPA?
And who's on the panel, Dunya?
Sorry, my email is lagging. Do you mind just introducing them real quickly?
I don't have it in front of me. I apologize. Suzanne, can you introduce the panel to us, please? You're on mute.
Sorry, David has it in front of him, so he will introduce the panel.
Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
My screen just went blank.
Oh no, his screen just went blank.
We can introduce ourselves.
that would be good. That would
We
be
could do
good.
that. Hi, my name is Mel Hudson. I'm an audit partner at RSM. I'm a Cal Poly graduate from 1988, so a long time ago. I started my career at Arthur Young, who's the precursor to E&Y. I've spent about 15 years there and about 16 years at RSM. I'm also on the advisory council with Nancy. And then glad to be here.
Well, you've already met me, Nancy Corrigan. I'm happy to be here. And that was a quick on your feet, Mel, to just kind of pick it up and go forward. So that's great.
I'm a Zoom expert at this point.
Yes.
Dr. Koo, would you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Mei-Hua Ku. I'm the coordinator for the MSA program and also the director for the graduate programs at Cal Poly Pomona. Good to be here.
Are we missing anybody, David?
Jolene Frazier. Hi, everybody. I'm the chair of the Cal CPA for the 2020-21 term. I'm absolutely delighted to be here today. My background is I graduated from CSU Sacramento and began my career at Deloitte and worked in the field of audit for about 10.5 years. I'm now working in forensic accounting, where I've been doing that for about 13 years. I'm a managing director at Eisner Amper, and I'm happy to be here.
Wonderful. Is that everybody on our list?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, Duny, go ahead and toss your question back out.
Sorry about that. Thank you, everyone. So the first question would be, from your experience, what is the biggest benefit of becoming a CPA?
Do you want us each to answer or go in order, or one take it, or what's the best way to proceed with limited time?
I mean, you can take it, and if anybody wants to add on, you know.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just go ahead and get started. I would say it's versatility. Because you can practice in public accounting, private industry, you can own your own business and have extensive accounting knowledge. You can be a generalist in public accounting, or you can be a specialist. So a generalist could do accounting, auditing, taxation, or a specialist, you pick one of those, you know, you gain the experience and you go, boy, I really like tax. I'm going to be a tax expert. But you could also go into pension plans or forensic accounting. So the versatility, I would say, is the best.
Yeah, I would agree. I would add, if you do go into public accounting, at a minimum, you need it before you get promoted to manager. In many firms, it's even a lower level than that. So it's a barrier to entry in that regard. And also for many jobs, if you happen to be, you know, looking at jobs online, many of them will require a CPA once you get to a certain level at an organization. In particular, in a larger company, or someone that, you know, wants to has some, you know, banking requirements or something like that.
And I'm happy to add on from a little bit different perspective and certainly echo the previous comments, but I would also say that with your CPA, there comes a level of expertise and respect in the field of accounting. And for me, the ability to provide that expertise and frankly, relieve a lot of clients' anxiety about things they don't understand that they maybe want some help with. So for me, it's always made me feel really great to help clients resolve accounting issues, strengthen their internal controls, or increase effectiveness and efficiency of financial reporting. So for me, that level of expertise has always provided a huge benefit to my clients and certainly to me.
Thank you, everyone, for sharing. The next question would be, do you feel COVID-19 has diminished opportunities for accounting students or recent graduates to receive experience required for the CPA license? If so, what can they do to overcome this obstacle?
I'll start off on this one. Yeah, it hasn't hurt them in any way to get their experience. You know, all the work is done under the supervision, you know, of supervisors, managers, partners. So you're still getting the exact same experience supervised, you know, by a CPA as you were before. The challenge I think that we're having a little bit is the on-the-job training. So you're getting the core experience that you need, but you would oftentimes in an audit be in a room together as a team, you know, 4, 6, 12 people, depending on how big the team is, with the manager and the partner. And as the partner might be asking the manager questions, as a new staff, you're hearing what they're talking about. So you're picking up things as you go. It may not be what you're working on. And if you do that, you know, for multiple years, you learn a lot of things that way. So that's a little bit more challenging now.
I would echo what Mel is saying and say the approach has changed greatly and we're all adapting. I think that makes us more versatile, but the needs of companies is perhaps even greater. You know, this COVID-19 and everything going on has had a great impact. They need guidance, they need direction. They still need their audits, they still need their bank financing, et cetera, et cetera. So the needs perhaps are even greater given that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know that I have anything to add. I would agree. I don't think the work has, it's changed the environment. So I would say if anything, it might change the experience because it is more virtual at this point and will probably continue to be so, you know, from this time forward to some degree. Otherwise, the work is still there. It's still needed. In fact, I think it's growing. So I think there's not a diminished, you know, ability to get the hours. I think it's just going to be done in a bit of a different way.
Thank you. Next question would be, what is one positive development in the accounting industry that has arisen from the pandemic?
Well, I think it's kind of what we're talking about, new tools being developed to do exactly what we've been trying to do and to meet this evolving need. I mean, the change in the need and the requirements and that sort of thing. Again, I think it's making all of us even more versatile, having to develop what we call workarounds. How do we do it? How do we accomplish it? So maintain independence, objectivity, and all those things, all those attributes that we have to have as CPAs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if anything, I think it's actually helping us develop new skills that maybe we didn't have before. You know, I started asking myself right from the get-go, why weren't we doing this all along? Because I'm finding myself on virtual calls and meeting people that I probably never would have met in person, but yet I'm able to see them face to face. So I think the number one positive development is connection, this virtual connection. It's teaching us a new skill and it's allowing us to meet new people in different ways.
Perfect.
Yeah. And I had one last, maybe a slightly different thing is I think for some of our people, it's given them a better work-life balance. For some, it's a little challenging because you literally, you know, you wake up and you're in front of your desk in 5 minutes and then you can literally sit here all day, right? So you have to be careful about that. You could be here for 12 hours. But for some people, if they had a long commute, maybe they have someone at home they need to care for or something, it's really been a benefit for them. And I think both in accountants and just businesses in general have figured out that many people can do their job remotely and do it very well. So I think, and we've already started that, you know, and I'm sure many companies will, starting, you know, some sort of, you know, offering, you know, work at home or some hybrid model that for people that need it. And I think, you know, it's proven that people, you know, can effectively do their jobs.
Perfect, thank you. Is there a specific piece of advice you would give to students as they prepare to graduate and head into the accounting field?
I would say
happy to start off.
Sure that you are, oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to go?
No, that's okay.
Okay, I would just say be sure to build that strong initial foundation. It starts with grades, knowledge, transitions into experience. So kind of the book head knowledge into what you can do. That foundation is really important to launch you into getting that license and determining, am I going to be a generalist? Am I going to be a specialist? That all comes along after, but the foundation is really, really critical. Be open-minded and do not let this crazy environment intimidate you, but go in with knowledge. Research those firms online and learn about them so that when you walk in, you're a strong candidate. That's what I would offer.
Dr. Kay,
and I think to piggyback on that as well, I would highly encourage everyone to explore different career paths that are available in the accounting profession. It's not just your typical pathways that I think has been, you know, what's known, tax, audit, et cetera. Aside from those traditional careers, you could be specializing in forensic accounting, specific industries. You're able to specialize in, you know, IT. There's a huge need for that. Data analytics. The possibilities are endless. And so I would absolutely encourage everyone to explore what those different opportunities are, whether it's in public accounting or industry. That there's so many opportunities out there. Don't feel that you're limited to only a couple. I would also highly recommend that, communication skills, develop those as strongly as you can, whether it's verbal communication skills, video conferencing skills, writing skills. To me, those are some of the most important skills that you can have. And then finally, if you haven't already, I'm going to make a plug for Cal CPA. If you're not a student member, definitely become a student member. It's free for students, and there's a lot of information available to you. Gives you access to information about the profession, access to scholarships, which I know is very important, opportunities to connect with other professionals, free admission to Cal CPA student events. So there's a lot of great information out there. So I would encourage you to join. But in addition to that, I know the Board of Accountancy has a lot of information. So just simply doing your research.
I would like to add on to that. Since Nancy mentioned, you need to have a good foundation, and also we need to have all those soft skills and research abilities and communication skills. I know a lot of you are here and say, "Oh, did I get all that from my degree, right?" And I would like to say, really, the benefit of doing the MSA, Master of Science in Accountancy, the way our curriculum is designed, really we enhance, we give communication skills and all the foundation need. I think that will give you a lot of how to say, a lot of greater potential, greater skills to move on. And I earlier someone asked, if I have 150 hours, do I need to get a master's? Master's is not required for getting your CPA license. So we wanted to make it clear. So it's not required. But with our curriculum, the way our curriculum is designed, it actually helps you to advance your career in the future.
And I'll just add a couple things to that. I would advise looking at your career in as a long-term career, right? Many people change jobs many times and do different things even within a company. Look for things that you're interested in. There's always many opportunities at most firms or most companies, right? So try to, search out something that you're interested in, and don't be afraid, if your situation allows for it, to try new things, right? At our firm and many others companies, you can become an expat and go work in another country for a couple of years, right? In the last year, we've started a video gaming and esports team, right? So people are interested in that, right? So they're new, so some people are hesitant, like, should I stay in the consumer products or the industrial products? It's like, well, in 20 years, there may not even be an industrial products division. I don't know, right? So don't, especially when you're younger, right? It's easier to do an overseas assignment or try a new thing when you're younger. It's when you're like me and you get old and you got 6 kids, it's kind of hard to do some of that stuff. So I would encourage people to at least think about it, and to take some risk when you're younger.
Thank you. Next question would be, what are some of the ways you and others in the accounting industry are able to make a difference in your communities?
I think probably one of the most obvious is volunteer work. There's so many opportunities from a volunteer standpoint, whether it's myself, I've gotten involved quite a bit with Cal CPA, obviously, which has been a great benefit, but I've also been on boards of organizations that I care a great deal about, whether it's animal organizations or any other type of organization. I've had opportunities to bring my level of expertise from an accounting standpoint in a treasurer position or otherwise to provide assistance. We do a lot of advocacy work here in Sacramento as well. So I've been had the great opportunity to attend CPA Day at the Capitol, where we're sharing our the important issues for accountants with legislators. So those to me are some great opportunities to do something in your local community that is within the CPA profession as well.
Thank you.
And also we can do with your financial knowledge, we did like a financial literacy to high school kids and to all the entry-level college kids, and to help people understand the financial impact of their life. I think that's also good contribution to the society.
That's very sweet. Thank you for that. And then next question would be, what are common misconceptions people have about the accounting industry?
I can start. They think that we sit behind desks and crunch numbers. Right now, we kind of do.
We do, yeah.
But we don't do, the accountancy profession is a lot about working with people. It's a service profession. And comments that were made before about communication skills, written skills, verbal communication, how you present yourself are huge. And maybe they are now more so because we're just so right there with each other online, on screen. But so they think we just sit and crunch numbers and we're good at math. No, a lot of this analyzing and working with people. So I'll throw that out as a starter.
Yeah, I think that's a common one. And that, maybe it's not exciting. I think it can be exciting. I've always very much enjoyed my career, and I've tried to gravitate towards things I was interested in, which for me is international companies. So I've always gotten to travel a fair amount. So I've been to Asia, I think about a dozen times in the last 10 years. I've been to Europe about 6 times in the last 10 years for my clients. And that's very, interesting, and you get to go and work with the people there, both, from your offices in those countries and the clients' offices. And you just get to meet throughout your whole career many new people and many new companies just constantly. It's very interesting and very challenging.
Yeah, I'd say the number one thing that I'm always asked is, can you help me with my tax return? So one of the largest misconceptions is that if you're a CPA, you do tax work. Right. I find that to be interesting, but probably not uncommon that's a thought. I could not prepare anybody's tax return other than my own. So it's just not an area that I ever specialized in. So I think that's one misconception, is that there's such a narrow field of what accountants do. And that's just simply not the case. There are so many opportunities out there, like I said before, with career paths and what have you. And, the accounting profession is truly the language of business. And we should be at the table talking to our clients and talking to other professionals about our knowledge and how we can help them. So that to me is one of the largest misconceptions. And that, again, like Nancy said, that you're sitting behind a desk, whereas echoing what Mel said, there's such an opportunity to travel and to meet different clients and learn different industries and specialize. So I would say that those added comments is what I have.
Well, I actually had that on my list, Jolene, as well, because everybody just thinks that we know everything. I'm primarily an auditor. Financial reporting was my specialty, with some general tax knowledge because I was in a small firm. I have a perfect example. My husband's a CPA and I'm a CPA. And everybody goes, oh my goodness, you must do everything identically. Not at all. He's a tax guy. I'm not a tax guy. And it's like, we couldn't be more different than we are. And the world is really wide open for what CPAs can do. And so we're kind of a perfect example of that.
Thank you, everyone. So we have a few minutes left, and I have just a couple more questions. What are changes do you see coming in the accounting industry in the next 5 years?
Well, I'll start if you'd like. Just continued reliance on technology, just developing, just ongoing. Our borders keep expanding. We're no longer just the US, we're the worldwide. International companies will just continue to do that. The world becomes smaller. So I think that will continue. And in the next 5 years, and in fact, 2024, the CPA exam will change dramatically, which is upcoming. So there will be the core knowledge, the accounting, the auditing, the tax, the technology, and then candidates will be able to choose a specialist category. And once they commit to that, so it's kind of, I guess we're becoming more with the world and modernizing with what's happening, and the CPA exam is evolving to catch up. So that's what I have to offer.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I think the integration and collaboration with other disciplines is going to be a significant part of the process, whether it's working with tax returns or in an audit or some other attest function, consulting. I think we're going to be doing a lot more collaboration with other disciplines and other areas of interest, especially at technology, and having that be a component of every single facet of accounting.
Thank you.
I will also say maybe add the analytics skills that people you need to have, equip yourself. I think that importance of an analytical skill is going to be increased from now on.
I would agree with all of that, but in particular what May just said, if you look not near term, but maybe a little bit further out, what the accounting profession hopes to get to is actually have direct access, right, to the general stuff of companies. Companies are very uncomfortable with that now. They still send us all the information. They don't give us direct access. But eventually, I think that will probably happen, and we'll be doing, real-time auditing, right? Gathering information for tax returns, doing consulting projects, whatever that is. And then it'll be monthly analytics. There'll be things like that. So it'll be more of a continuous audit process. That'll be more when, all you students are managers or partners yourselves, probably. I'm sure, I hope I'll be long retired by then. But so technology skills are going to be key. Analytical skills are going to be key. You even see, you can get a degree in analytics now, right? That's, something that wasn't offered, not all that long ago. So that, so those are the things that everyone mentioned, I agree with.
Perfect, thank you. And then the very last question before we end the meeting is, what is the biggest mistake you've noticed students make when it comes to picking classes to meet CPA educational requirements? If you'd like to add on that.
Well, I might add that, and it's been a while since I've been at Cal Poly Pomona, but I think, I took everything I could possibly take to make myself an educated and informed accountant. And I think sometimes it just in looking at transcripts over the years, students haven't necessarily taken that approach. So everything you can take to prepare yourself, and even that tough professor that whatever, do it. And make a decent grade. So that's what I would offer.
I would probably piggyback on a comment I made earlier, and I would say communication skills. There's a lot of communications classes that you can take that will help strengthen both written and verbal communication skills. Even joining things like Toastmasters and taking advantage of opportunities where you can speak to a group. All of that prepares you for interacting with clients, interacting with other professionals. I think it's an area that's not necessarily focused on as much, because once you get into those upper division accounting classes, they're really focused on accounting and fulfilling the requirements to graduate, as well as, hopefully preparing for the CPA exam. But the communication skills, I think, it's not necessarily overlooked, but I think it needs to be emphasized more and will better prepare you for entering the profession.
Thank you. Sorry, if no one has anything to add on or anything else, then we are good with our presentation. Thank you everybody for attending. It was such a pleasure to see everybody and have this great of attendance today. And if anybody has any questions, please feel free to email me. I think my email is already out there to everyone in our newsletter. And you can try to, forward those to professionals, and hopefully they can help us with answering them. And we can share it on our Beta Alpha Psi website for everyone to access. I know people have also been questioning if they would be having an access to this recording. Yes, you will. It will be available on our Beta Alpha Psi website. So thank you everyone once again for attending, and have a great day.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to thank also the panel today, Nancy Corrigan, Mel Hudson, Jolene Fraser, and Mewa Ku, and also the CBA staff, Sue, David, and Jennifer. Yeah. So thank you all for your attendance, and this was a very informative session. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you, everyone.